We might be light on Marvel news this week, but Sunday evening's 82nd Golden Globes Awards ceremony saw many an MCU friend and foe in attendance. Kathryn Hahn was nominated for her role in Agatha All Along. Sebastian Stan was twice nominated and won once. And Captain America Brave New World stars Anthony Mackie and Harrison Ford took the stage to present an award, as did MCU alumni Michelle Yeoh and Jeff Goldblum. Now that you got your Marvel fix, let's talk about some winners and snubs. On the TV side of things, the winner's circle featured Usual Suspects FX's Shogun and The Bear, still being awarded as a comedy despite the protests, Max's Hacks, and newcomer Baby Reindeer from Netflix, snagging a couple of wins. Also worthy of note, Colin Farrell narrowly avoiding a snub took home the sole award for HBO's The Penguin. Netflix and A24 ruled the evening as far as the films are concerned, with Emilia, Perez, and The Brutalist being highly awarded. Although Wicked refused to be relegated to the sidelines, taking home the Cinematic and Box Office Achievement Award. Which of these wins have us gossiping like golden girls?
So I did tune into the ceremony Sunday evening, and I have to add, there were a couple of other appearances from Marvel players that weren't cited in that rundown. So we also had Vin Diesel, who I mentioned at the top of the show.
It took me like 5 seconds. I was like, who is Vin Diesel in the MCU? And then, go ahead.
Very subversive.
It's just, how dare you?
We also had Kihi Kwan, Ouroboros from the Loki season 2.
Yeah.
The Loki season 2. I was going to say the Loki series, Loki season 2. And then Zendaya was in attendance as well. So even if you're not, a fan of all the smaller indie and festival movies and stuff like that, I think there's a reason for everybody to tune into the Golden Globes. And credit to Nikki Glaser. She did a really, really good job, especially compared to last year's, what was that guy's name? I don't even...
Something...
Joe Coy?
Yes,
yeah,
yes,
Joe Coy. Sorry, Joe. Yeah. In terms of the winners and snubs, TV, I don't think we'll get a lot of a discussion from me because it was kind of almost like a repeat from the Emmys. But actually, there we go. Shogun had a number of wins, and I'm going to struggle on this gentleman's name, but Tananobu, who played Yabushige in Shogun, that's actually another Marvel player. I never realized that he played Hogun of the Warriors 3 in the Thor trilogy, so that was a nice little call up there. But obviously, we here are big fans of pretty much all of the winners as far as TV goes. The Bear, Shogun. Matt, I know you've cited Hacks. I have not watched that myself, but
love Hacks.
One of the best moments of the ceremony, I think it was the showrunner for Hacks, when he got on the stage to give his speech, he just looked out in the crowd and saw Harrison Ford, and he said, "There's Han Solo. Han Solo's staring at me."
Oh, no.
So there were a lot of really
and now Harrison
great
will
moments.
never speak to him again.
I bet that made him so mad. He was so grumpy about it.
Yeah, more than likely.
Hopefully he's come more to terms with his role in that. This is I don't know.
If you saw his interplay with Anthony Mackie, it's hard to tell, which is a credit to him as an actor. So,
yeah.
So I think there were a lot of great moments, not just Marvel moments, but just great pop culture moments. And again, Nikki Glaser did a great job, really funny, towed the line without crossing the line, got right up to the line and didn't cross it. So it was really funny, but also managed to, despite Joe Coy's failings last year, I remember one of my takeaways in terms of the winner and how the ceremony kind of conducted itself. The Golden Globes do have a little bit of a reputation for being kind of Hollywood shit show. It's where the celebrities get drunk and wasted. You even heard Kieran Culkin cite that in his acceptance speech. But the last couple of years, as they've introduced the Hollywood foreign press and kind of tried to attempt a little bit of a face change here, I do think they have successfully added some prestige or reclaimed some prestige to the show and the ceremony. So there have been a lot of debates about what kind of impact the Golden Globes actually have on the award season as a whole. And, technically speaking, do they have any impact on the Oscar? No, they don't. But I think as far as optics go, I think everything from Academy members being able to see, oh, this got this many awards, this didn't. Maybe I should give my time and attention to this versus that. Zoe Saldana getting to get up there for Emilia Perez and give an empowered and like tearful speech. I think those are the moments that are going to resonate with people. So The Brutalist, I was a little surprised that it was as highly awarded as it was, considering the fact that it is a 3.5-hour movie. So it's just causing me to like double down on the fact that I'm going to have to see this one, as much as I'm not really looking forward to that much time in the movie theater. But the big snub for me personally was Honora. Like, that didn't take home a single win, and Mikey Madison has really been the front runner this award season for lead actress. So that could go either way. Like I said, kind of at the beginning of that could result in people kind of doubling down and backing her come Oscar time, or it could be an indication that Honora might be losing some of the steam. So,
yeah, well, like you said, it doesn't directly impact the Oscars in terms of like having a physical effect, but it does, like you said, have an effect, and it is a kind of a precursor to the Oscars. It kind of shows us the leanings a little bit on the way that some of these movies are go. So if you go into the Golden Globes and you expect, all right, this is going to win, this is going to win, this is going to win, and then at the next level, they're going to win Oscars too, but then they don't win at the Golden Globes, history's the best instructor here, and that usually shows us that those films will probably not go to the next level. They probably won't take home the Oscars. So, like, sure. Honora is a good call. Baby Girl was another one that was kind of expected to maybe get some conversation, especially with Nicole Kidman. A Complete Unknown, like Timothy. None of these films won anything at the Golden Globes. Like none of those three won anything. And so again, if you're involved with those films, you're a little bit like, oh, I don't really like our chances as much anymore. And I think it doesn't mean necessarily that they'll lose, but it is kind of like a red flag and kind of like, well, maybe the Academy is going to lean a little bit more towards your Brutalist, your Emilia Perez, and they're going to lean a little bit more away from some of these other ones. So yeah, that's something that you have to keep an eye on if you're interested in the award season and the build up to the award season. This is a step on that staircase up to the Oscars, and it does matter as you're starting to move up. But overall, it's really cool to see some people win these awards, especially like somebody like Sebastian Stan. Like, this was his first time winning a Golden Globe. He was pumped about it. Like Anthony Mackie was like crashing his interviews and hanging out, like stuff like that's awesome. This was Zoe Saldana's first Golden Globe in her career. Demi Moore was another one that won for The Substance, and she gave a fantastic speech, and her family was like behind her the whole time, like in a video that was posted that kind of went a little bit viral celebrating her win. So it's just been kind of cool to see some of these people that maybe haven't had their turn necessarily yet at this particular award get their chance to go out, especially someone like Demi Moore, or like kind of what we're seeing with like Nicole Kidman, where they're getting a little bit older, but they're taking on these like risky and interesting roles and having success and being a part of the conversation. And it's cool. It's cool to see that for some of these people.
Yeah, absolutely. I have a similar take after hearing about the winners of the Golden Globes as I had when we heard about the nominees, and that is, I really got to watch some of these movies. I have seen apparently very few of these awards contenders this year. And I know this is kind of where a lot of them get their first chance at the spotlight, where they can start getting noticed, but still, looking at the lists of the vast majority of the movies, I was just like, I don't know. I hadn't seen any of these. So that'll be a fun next few months of catching up on all these awards contenders. I really... This gave me a chance to be reminded to talk about this on the show, because I don't think I have. I watched Saturday Night. And that is one of the few that I just think that movie is great. It did not win, but the actor was up for best actor in a comedy, Gabriel LaBelle, and I really he was wonderful in it. But that movie was written so tightly and directed so well. Just the comedy for a show about Saturday Night Live, it needed to be a good comedy on top of being that sort of like look behind the scenes, and it's just a killer comedy. So I just had to throw that out there, and I was really happy for Hacks again. Won the Emmys, I believe, as best comedy, and it also won here for best comedy. I'm glad it beat The Bear. I think The Bear is probably a better show, but it just is in the wrong category, and so I just like that Hacks is beating it. And the Penguin situation with I'm sad it didn't win more because I think it's such a great show. But if it had to win one thing, I think Best Actor for Colin Farrell is a really standout thing for it to win for. Like it deserves that one probably above anything else on the list. I love its writing, I love its directing, but like I love a lot of the supporting cast, but him behind the emoting through that makeup and everything was just amazing. And so I'm glad to see that win. And I'm hoping that DC will be able to attract this kind of award for a TV show allows these companies to attract the kind of talent, hey, you could win, Best Actor for come do our little DC show, and maybe they'll get whatever they're planning for the Batman 2. I'm really hoping for a TV show. All right. That's all I got.
Colin Farrell had a really great acceptance speech too, because he made a point to call out craft services. So he's like, Carolina, making sure I had those coconut waters on those freezing New York nights. Sorry.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I wonder if he had to have any kind of special like drinking apparatuses for his coconut waters, like to get into that. I mean, his mouth is there, but like like a straw. Yeah, a special drinking apparatus like a straw. Thank you, Haley.
You're welcome. That's all I have to say. I'm just kidding. That's my contribution. I've been saying for a while that this year, in terms of films, is kind of a weird one. We still have the last effects of the strikes probably happening. And I've said to Scotty, Ashley, and Matt before the show today that like awards season is going to be a lot of films most of us haven't gone out to see right away. They're going to be like these smaller films from studios that are just putting out different stories. So it's going to be an interesting film season. And I also think that this last year, TV might have outshone movies a little bit. I think that when you look at the slate of nominees from just TV world, it's like I loved some of these things and was dying to see them more than some of these movies that I just don't know anything about yet, but that we'll probably watch for Bingers Assemble Oscars coverage. So we've talked before, I think when the Emmy nominations came out, about this kind of being a resurgence of the golden age of television, and I still think that's true. And when you look at who won and who was nominated, I think it says it for itself. Like, I don't know if 2025 is going to have the same amount of consistent great shows that 2024 did, but it's going to still be up there for sure. So I don't know. I think the movies this last year were just all over the board. And you can see it. You see it in the nominees. You've got Netflix musical, which the Oscars probably won't go for something from Netflix, if we're being honest. And then you've got, Conclave. And then you've got everything in between. It's a super weird year for movies. I will shout out Wicked for getting the Box Office Achievement Award. That's the second year this award has been given away. And no, it didn't make the most money. That would probably be Deadpool and Wolverine. But it did rake it in for a movie musical, and I'm sure that was probably the reason why they were given the award.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that criteria has to do with the experience that we've talked about a lot that was created by Wicked, that it was a cultural go to the theater, post about it on social media, dress up, like that whole thing. And so, some people see that and they're like, well, I thought Deadpool and Wolverine made more money. Why did it not win? It's box office achievement. It's not just a numbers game. That award has a lot of factors to it, I think, as we're looking at the criteria. You're wanting to be more like a Barbie or a Wicked and less like you just made a lot of money type movie to win that particular award.
Aura.
It's a vibe, basically.
You just watched a clip from Multiverse News. If you liked it, go to our channel. We got a whole episode that it comes from. So go check that out and hit the like and subscribe. And we got lots of clips you'll enjoy, but also full hour-long episodes of Multiverse News with lots of things that don't even make it to clips. So check us out.
You stay clippy.